A good evening to you. Many thanks for joining us on this edition of KTN Weekend Prime. It is a tragic day as 20 people have lost their lives following a road accident in Gilgil involving a bus and a truck. We have details of that in this bulletin. And on this day also, we have many Kenyans questioning the speedy importation of maize from Mexico to the country. Of course, it comes at a time when many are battling the soaring food prices and starvation as well following drought, and that forms the basis of our Saturday night poll tonight. And we're asking you, was there justification for the importation of maize from Mexico? Was there justification for that? Do share with us your thoughts on this particular issue by tweeting me directly at Sharon_Momanyi, at KTN News, at KTN Kenya. You can also text us on 22155. Before we begin this bulletin, let's take a look at the highlights tonight.
Hapa na karibu na Guru nasikia basi ikianza kurori inaswing pande ile na pande hii.
Tulikuwa na accident mbaya hapa mahali inaitwa Soisambu.
Police intensify the search for the bus driver in the Gilgil accident as the death toll rises to 20.
We will be looking at the facts that led to this accident, and that will inform the direction that we are likely to take.
NTSA now reconsiders the ban on night travel by public service vehicles.
Kuna watu ambao wanajaribu kutupigisha siasa ati nyinyi unga sijui sukari. Mimi nataka niwaeleze.
Eti mahindi imetoka Mexico from Wednesday imeitishwa na ati ni sasa imefika. 1 day, 2 days. Hata ndege peke yake inachukua siku 10.
Plus, verbal exchanges begin on the imported maize from Mexico.
Kenyans must elect visionary leaders.
We have the light governor in the light sanctuary of this our time. So I do appreciate your nomination.
And Miguna Miguna picks 24-year-old former university student leader for his running mate. Many thanks for joining us. My name is Sharon Momanyi. Our sign language interpreter tonight is William Siller. Now, at least 20 people have been confirmed dead and scores others hospitalized after a bus collided head-on with an oncoming truck in Gilgil, Soisambu area along the busy Nairobi-Nakuru highway. The ill-fated bus was heading to Busia from Nairobi, and the police are yet to establish the cause of the accident. Yusuf Ibrahim reports.
Heart-rending images from the scene of the accident. It's yet another gruesome road carnage on the busy Nairobi-Nakuru highway, a highway labelled as one of the most dangerous in Kenya. For most of the passengers aboard the 52-seater bus, the 2 a.m. incident proved to be their darkest hour. 20 of the passengers did not live to see sunrise. The mangled and twisted wreckage of the passenger bus and a defaced truck at the scene of the accident, testimony of the impact of the deadly crash. Police forced to bear with the horrific scenes as they, together with some of the locals, retrieved some of the bodies from the wreckage, one after the other. 18 were confirmed dead at the scene.
Asubuhi kama saa 8 asubuhi tulikuwa na accident mbaya hapa mahali inaitwa Soisambu. Tuko na lori ya Super Highway Sacco ambayo ilikuwa inatoka pande ya Nairobi ikielekea pande ya Nakuru.
And at the St. Mary's Hospital, some of the injured passengers cried in pain, with doctors seen in a frantic effort to save the lives of those critically injured. One more person died here. However, by midday, 2 were discharged while 6 others were still receiving treatment.
Some of them are in critical condition with serious severe injuries, so we're intending to refer them for urgent CT scan.
Some of the passengers on the ill-fated bus escaped unhurt narrate the ordeal.
Hapa na karibu na Guru nasikia basi ikianza kurori inaswing pande ile na pande hii, kuchukia ni lori ikakata. Tulikuwa mimi, mamangu, mtoto wa sistangu na sistangu.
Tumeingia pale tumezama kama sasa.
It is reported that the driver of the passenger bus, who escaped the scene shortly after the accident, tried to overtake a truck, after which he lost control of the vehicle and collided with an oncoming truck. Police are still searching for him, together with the owner of the ill-fated bus. The bus, said to be registered under Nairobi's Superhighway 45 Sacco, is said to have been operating on a wrong route. However, representatives from the Sacco distanced themselves from the bus, saying that they had long suspended the bus from the Sacco.
Tuko kwa system hiyo gari, kuna kwa system yetu, hata system ya NTSA hiyo gari hakuna.
The owner of the bus has been identified as Humphrey Mulinge under company name Global Solutions Limited. Police are yet to arrest the driver as well as the owner of the bus, who is still at large. Yusuf Ibrahim, KTN News.
Such sad news. May those that passed away rest in peace. Now, the National Transport and Safety Authority says that it is seriously considering to reintroduce the ban on night travel to reduce the growing cases of road fatalities that have so far claimed the lives of over 1,000 people just this year alone. The ban that had in the past raised a lot of controversy following vigorous opposition from matatu operators was lifted after NTSA introduced new traffic regulations.
It's a sight all too familiar on our roads. The mangled wreckage of vehicles resulting in fatalities that has seen the Kenyan roads declared one of the most dangerous in the world. And you simply have to look at the latest statistics from the National Transport and Safety Authority to see why. Between January 1st and May 11th this year, 1,097 people have lost their lives due to road accidents. Even though the authority says this is a 6.7% decrease from last year's statistics, pedestrian deaths on the road is causing concern within the National Transport and Safety Authority. Among the over 1,000 killed on the roads, nearly half that number are pedestrians.
The northern corridor begins in Mombasa and ends up in Malaba. 60% of our fatalities are along this very, very important corridor.
The latest incident occurring just 24 hours ago, claiming the lives of 20 people, now prompting the authority to flirt with the idea of reintroducing a ban on night travel as a mitigation measure.
This is informed by the circumstances of the accident. We will be looking at the facts that led to this accident, and that will inform the direction that we are likely to take.
A similar ban introduced by the National Transport and Safety Authority in 2014 saw weeks of paralysis of night travel, with bus operators unsuccessfully seeking court injunctions to stop the ban. But when the ban was finally lifted, so came with a raft of measures meant to tame the sector. Among such measures gazetted on the 17th of December 2014 included having every night operator travel no more than 8 hours before the next shift. Vehicles engaging in night travel were to have a special license for the travel approved by the National Transport and Safety Authority, as well as ensure that each SACCO engaging in night travel employ 2 drivers as a mandatory requirement. But it appears the regulations have done little to ease the pain of Kenyans on the road.
So most of these challenges we are seeing are behavioral issues. Behavior change is obviously not an event. It is a journey that we must all walk.
The accidents, mainly caused by private motorists, commercial vehicles and public service vehicles, could see fresh regulations crafted to tame a menace costing lives on Kenyan roads. Timothy Otieno, KTN News.
Right, and away from road safety now, and the importation of maize recently continues to dominate public debate, with more questions being raised, not only about the source, but also about the credibility of the entire process.
The announcement of the arrival of a consignment of maize at the port of Mombasa was received with mixed reactions. After all, Kenyans are grappling with high costs of essential commodities.
Mahindi imetoka Mexico from Wednesday, imeitishwa na ati sasa imefika 1 day, 2 days. Hata ndege peke yake inachukua siku 10.
Yes, we have a shortage. Na ni kwa sababu tulikuwa na kiangazi, hamukuvuna miwa ya kutosha, tukawa na kiangazi, hatukuvuna mahindi ya kutosha, lakini importation tutafanya kiasi kidogo ya hii temporary shortage ya mahindi na miwa, lakini ndani ya miezi mitatu hii mambo yote ya shortage itakuwa imeisha.
Which is why the Deputy President says the government allowed the importation of maize and even issued a gazette notice that allows duty-free importation of sugar and powdered milk. This is expected to have a drastic impact on the cost of the essential commodities.
Lazima tufikirie vizuri kama serikali, kabla ya kuagiza lazima tufikirie vile itadhuru ama vile itaadhiri hawa wakulima wetu.
But according to Devolution Cabinet Secretary Mwangi Kiunjuri, the opposition is to blame for the rising costs of food.
Ni nani anauza mahindi Kenya? Ni nani anauza sukari Kenya? Hawa watu wote cartel ya kuuza sukari na mahindi wako hapa Mombasa. Ni marafiki ya nani?
On Tuesday, members of the National Assembly returned to work after a month-long recess and expressed outrage over the high costs of essential commodities.
Cannot, Mr. Speaker, aim to be a developed nation when every year you have to hold out begging bowls in order to feed your people.
I saw recently Kenyans speaking to the media and saying that they would rather eat rice and pasta because that is what they can afford. Unfortunately, rice and pasta is not the strength of Kenyans.
A statement from the Principal Secretary for Agriculture, Dr. Richard Lesiyampe, says all the maize imported into the country is by private millers and not the government. He says the millers are importing for 2 reasons: for human consumption and for animal feed. The maize imported for human consumption is white and has been sourced from Mexico, Ethiopia, Zambia, and South Africa. The PS says yellow maize is yet to arrive in the country, but will be used only to feed animals. Currently, there are 300,000 bags of maize, each weighing 90 kilograms, being offloaded at the port of Mombasa. By the end of this month, 990,000 bags will have been imported. Ellen Wanjiru, KTN News.
So just how long does it take a cargo ship to sail from Mexico to the port of Mombasa? Now, that is a question that our reporter Francis Mtalaki sought to answer when he spoke to shipping experts.
Details in our possession indicate that the bulk carrier built in 2015 with a flag from the Philippines was not in Mexico at least for the last 7 months. Between November and December 2016, the ship was in Australia. In November 30th, the ship was at Port Kembla, and on December 3rd, it was at Hay Point Port in Australia. It then left for India, and in January 13th, it docked at the port of Mumbai in India before heading to Madagascar on February 19th. In April 22nd, the said ship was at Port Louis in Mauritius before leaving Durban in South Africa, heading to Kenya on May 4th at 12:33 p.m.
Saa 1:26 usiku ikapita Richards Bay ambao ni nje ya Durban, ni mbali ni kama Mombasa na Lamu. Tarehe hiyo tarehe 4 mwezi wa 5 saa 1:26 ilipita Richards Bay. Ni bandari vile vile kwa South Africa, ikiwa inaelekea Mombasa, ikitarajiwa itaingia Mombasa tarehe 8 mwezi wa 5.
Although the arrival of maize will offer major relief for Kenyans currently battling with starvation amid soaring food prices, how the consignment of 30,000 metric tons arrived in the country in 3 days has left many Kenyans asking questions.
Hindi inaweza kuwa kweli yanatoka Mexico, lakini mzigo wameupakilia Durban, sio Mexico. Bila shaka wazika nao mahindi kwa muda mrefu, wakae nao Port Louis kwanza tarehe 29 Aprili, mzigo kwenda na meli. Tangu mwezi wa 4 Aprili ikae nao ndani na meli. Sijui na ilikuwa yafanya Port Louis. si bila shaka ilikuwa teremsha ama ilikuwa pakia. Basi mzigo pengine ilichukua mzigo nusu kutoka Port Louis, kutoka Australia. Asili yake ni wanavyosema wao Mexico, pengine kutoka Mexico ukateremsha Port Louis, wakachukua mzigo nusu Port Louis, wakaja Durban, wakapata mzigo mwingine huo wa Mexico, wakachukua Durban kwenye tarehe 3 ama tarehe 2 mwezi huu, afu ndo wakaja nao Mombasa.
There is also the procurement process that many argue that sourcing maize, ship and clearing the cargo at the port ready for any destination takes between 3 to 4 weeks.
Thereafter, it will be cleared by the respective organization or government organizations that are responsible for the clearance during the vessel's docking.
Waves you are seeing in front of me are some of the contributors at the speech at any ship will take arriving here in Kenya. And the experts say that it takes around 30 to 45 days for any ship to arrive here from Mexico. If the ocean is calm, then it will take around 30 days. But if it's rough, 45 days. And now the million-dollar question, can 30 to 45 days be reduced to only 3 days? Francis Mtalaki, KTN News, Mombasa.
All right, and so that maize saga and the nagging questions there form the basis of our Saturday night poll. And we are asking you, was there justification for the importation of maize from Mexico? Was there justification for that? Do share with us your views by tweeting me directly at Sharon_Momanyi or at KTN News and at KTN Kenya. You can also text us at 22155 and I shall be sampling your views as we continue with this bulletin. All right, let's come to the politics of Nairobi now. And Nairobi gubernatorial aspirant Miguna Miguna has unveiled 24-year-old James Karihe Gathungu as his running mate for the August 8th poll. Miguna says that his team will conduct its campaigns on a platform of integrity, revolutionary and transformative politics and governance.
24-year-old James Gathungu, a former Laikipia University student leader, is seeking to be the deputy governor of Nairobi City County.
We are very serious.
The other way around.
He has partnered with lawyer Miguna Miguna to run as independent candidates.
We have a right as citizens of the country, citizens of Kenya, to run on the ticket as independents in the same manner that parties are allowed to field candidates under their banners. So we are not here requesting or begging for space. We are here occupying space that the Constitution guarantees.
Why did Miguna go for a youthful running mate who graduated from university in 2015 with a Bachelor of Science degree in statistics?
64% of Nairobi voters are youth. So which means that if the majority of the youth support my candidature, in view of the fact that I'm the only one with a true youth as a deputy governor to be, I win.
But for us, with my governor here, we want to transform this county. We want to eliminate all the cartels that has been holding this county hostage. We want also to introduce the affirmative action on youths.
In March last year, Miguna declared his interest to contest the Nairobi governor seat as an independent. And even as the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission ordered party primaries nominations last month, Miguna did not bother to seek endorsement from a political party.
What we have in this country are not political parties. We have fictional constructs that are built around individuals who are mainly tribal chieftains for their own personal selfish interests.
Miguna will face off with the incumbent governor Evans Kidero, who is seeking a second and last term on the Orange Democratic Movement, ODM, party ticket led by the Opposition National Super Alliance presidential candidate Raila Odinga. Miguna's other main rival is Jubilee's Mike Sonko, the current senator for Nairobi. Sonko will be banking on the support of the ruling Jubilee administration, which is keen to clean the coveted seat from the opposition. Both Kidero and Sonko also have the wherewithal to run a well-oiled campaign. Will Miguna be equal to the challenge?
Money does not win an election. So I will not win with money. I will win with the people.
Miguna says his vision, manifesto, policies and programs will be based on integrity, constitutionalism and rule of law.
We are coming with freshness. Myself and my running mate have no corruption scandals. We have never stolen anything, and we do not intend to steal anything. We are coming here to clean up the city so that we can create jobs, we can create infrastructure, and we can make Nairobi grow and become prosperous, so that the youth, the women, and the men in the city can all feel like they are part and parcel of the city, and it is not controlled by 1% of the cartels.
Patrick Amimo, KTN News.
Good luck.
Many thanks for staying with us here on KTN Weekend Prime. Right now, we want to take a short commercial break. We have more news when we return. See you shortly.